So let's now do the full analysis of Singapore Air and really what its secret sauce is. What is behind the success of this airline, differentiating it from others and having the ability to make continuous improvements and continuous change. There are many ingredients. I put together a slide that helps us kind of organize our thinking on this. And it hopefully will ring true for you if you've done sort of the analysis here as to what's behind all this. And I would like to just ask for someone to start, and others, if you want to chime in, just raise your hands and Aditi will call on you accordingly. Who wants to start in a leadership position to do this analysis? And who do we have first? We have Joy. Start us out.
Sure. In the case, it talked a lot about the internal core culture and how, especially up until very recently, everything was very small. And so they were able to really control that core culture. And everybody felt more like a family rather than an employer. And then recently they've had issues with that as they've grown and had to kind of expand their workforce outside of the initial cohort.
But what you're saying is the culture itself was sort of an enabler of their willingness to take on change. More importantly, their focus on customer service. Is that what you're saying? It was oriented to customer service.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Aditi, who's next?
We have Jocelyn next.
Jocelyn, go to it.
What really struck me was on the recruitment and staffing front. They had a lot of their workers take these exams that sort of evaluated their personalities. There were 7 training schools in which their employees would go to for 4 months, which was longer than their peer set. So there was this really heavy emphasis on, ensuring that the people they were bringing on board, could fit into their culture and were properly trained to carry out Singapore's, sort of core mission and culture.
Right, fit attention to the culture. Okay, great. And the extensive training, we'll come to I guess somebody will tell us some more about the training. Thanks, yeah. Jocelyn, that's helpful. Who's next?
We have Sachil next.
Sachil, please. So that's a wonderful broad analysis. It probably only begins to help us describe it. I have a slide here that maybe I can ask you to take the controls here, Aditi, that describes a lot of what you just said in much more sort of graphically pretty terms than trying to look at my typing, which is to say that there are multiple ingredients to the secret sauce. No one of them is the only ingredient. Each one of them, however, is distinctive from most airlines. So we make the analysis of why is it this airline did better than so many of the others, because they approached many of the organizational ingredients differently. They gave much more discretion and judgment to the front line. They changed the way in which they recruited and put in much more effort there, et cetera. So thank you for describing and analyzing the elements of this secret sauce. We admire it. And we, however, have to acknowledge that it doesn't stay constant. There are going to be challenges to that. And as we continue, let's talk about some of those challenges.